Hello, everybody. Thank you, everybody who is here today. Thank you, Steve Machine and Miguel Cabrera with the Public Information Officer of Salinas Police Department, along with everybody else that's here today. I put this rally together today to show support for our amazing law enforcement officer and to voice our opposition against defunding law enforcement. Across this nation, leaders and people are asking to defund law enforcement. Last Tuesday, it was brought up during a meeting here at City Hall to defund the Salinas Police Department. Defunding is not the answer. These officers risk their lives every day with low pay. We need more funding and not less. We need additional funding for expanding de-escalation training and establish partnership with the community health professional to assist homelessness, mental health, drug and alcohol related calls that police may not be equipped to handle. Politicians and civilians are watching police officers every move they do. They can't do their job without being judged and questioned for every move and actions they do. Officers get criticized for using a stun gun now over a handgun. This is not right. These men and women are our heroes. They keep our streets safe and keep our streets from mayhem. These men and women are the first ones who run into open fire to save people that they don't know. They are here to protect everyone, black, brown, white, gay, or trans. Unfortunately, we live in a world with good and bad people. Good and bad people live as civilians and police. We need to remember that most police are good people. We can't let bad apples represent every single law enforcement officer. Thank you, and thank you for coming out. Next up is Miguel Cabrera.
Thank you very much. My name is Miguel Cabrera. I'm a retired Salinas police officer, but I currently work for the department as a public information officer. And Chief Frese could not be here today, but I can tell you that on her behalf, we definitely appreciate your support, and we're very thankful. It's a difficult time to be a police officer anywhere in our nation, but I can assure you that here at Salinas PD, our officers are dedicated, and they will continue to provide a service to the community of Salinas to keep it safe. That's our primary goal. We will continue to work hard. We will continue to provide a service to the community, and that is not going to change. That's been happening prior to this current state of affairs, and it will continue after it's gone. There are changes that need to be made, and we want to be part of the solution. And we will work with the community again to improve where improvement is needed. But again, we are here and to emphasize the fact that the Salinas Police Department is here to serve the community, the entire community, and we definitely thank you for your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And then next up is Angie.
I like your hand. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Angie. I'm just going to speak because I have a loud voice. Oh, use the microphone.
Please.
I can't hear you. I'm deaf. My name's Angie Ortega, and for the last 27 years, I can't imagine. Can you hear me, Steve? No, use the microphone. Okay, use the mic. Right there.
No, it's right there.
It's on the podium, to your right.
Is it on?
Yes.
My name's Angie Ortega, and I can't imagine that for the last 27 years, I could have functioned like a human being, a sane human being without a police department. I happened February 6, 1993. We had to dial 911 because my loved one was mangled in her living room, dead. So who hit the streets to go find that murderer? Salinas Police Department did. And without them, we would have had no justice, and we would have probably had more dead. We would have had more victims. I represent a lot of victim survivors, and without the police department, I would not be a victim survivor. They actually taught me how to be a victim survivor. They gave me that encouragement. So what do we need? We actually need more money. We need more officers out there. We need more investigators. We just need to be able to support them. As a citizen here in Salinas, even last night at 4:15, I had an officer, it could have been two. Somebody was trying to break into my vehicle in my husband's pickup. Guess who was there? Now, what if I had to go out there, and who would I call? Who is going to help me? We can't be that way. We need our Salinas Police Department. We need to support them. Thank you.
All right, and then let's give up for Don Jones.
I came out here today because I am so very angry at the thought of defunding our police. Who are you going to call when you need help? When you go to the grocery store and you've got two children in your car and somebody tries to steal your car, who are you going to call? If they do steal your car and your kids are in it, who are you going to call to save your children? No, really, who are you going to call? You're going to run next door and get the neighbor?
Exactly.
You know, you guys have to think this all the way through. There's the domestic violence is on the rise because people have been locked down for so long. Who are you going to call when the wife's getting beat up or even the husband's getting beat up or the children? We need our officers if we're going to have peace. Our Constitution is extremely important. What makes America so wonderful is that we have the Constitution. We're going farther and farther away from that Constitution, and it protects you. It's called the rule of law. And if that rule of law is not there anymore, it's complete chaos. To defund the police is to take money away from them. This means there's not as many officers. So now you call 911 and there might be 3 or 4 officers, and you just have somebody trying to break into your house while there's a murder down around the corner, so they're all over there. This is really not going to help any of us if they defund the police. And I want you to seriously think. Elections have consequences. Who is it here that's wanting to defund our police? You need to think about who you're electing when you go in there and you vote. We need our police. I love them. They have helped me so many times throughout my life when I needed help. I really, really, really hope this does not happen. I pray to God, all of you people stand up and speak loudly, because if we don't speak loudly, they're going to do this. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next up is Cheryl Ward Kaiser.
You know, I hope none of you ever have to find out what it's like to make a 911 call. 29 years ago, our family had a home residential robbery. We had 4 people in our house with guns, shotguns, handguns at our head. My daughter was raped with a shotgun. My husband eventually was shot in the back and killed. When I hit 911 And 8 minutes later, that cop arrived. And his name was Matt Davis, the shortest one that day. Everybody else was like 6'7", and he was like 5'6". And when he came in that door, he didn't say to me, "Where are those guys at?" He said, "Where's your husband?" And he came in that bedroom in the dark, everything in the dark, people. And within 27 hours, they had all 5 people that committed my crime in jail.
Yeah.
All 5. 27 hours, my cops all stayed up. You say to me you want to defund? Are you freaking kidding me? You have no idea, and I don't want you to know what this feels like. I don't want anybody to ever know what it feels like to have guns put to your head and your daughter raped, and you hope to God we can all survive this crap. But I will tell you right now, nothing means more to me than police officers and what you do and what you all have done. So much so, people, I married the cop that caught them all. What does that say? That's, I can't even say it. I don't know who I'd be. That's what you have to understand. We don't know who we'd be if they hadn't caught the people in our crime. And it's the cops that caught them. Not some idiot on the street that's going to go catch them for you. It's the police officers. Defund? Are you kidding? How could the mayor of this town that used to be a cop even talk about it? We shouldn't even be talking it, not in this town. We don't lack for crime, do we? My understanding, per capita, we're the homicide of the United States, right here in Salinas. And we're talking about defunding. We talk about giving more money. Safety has got to be the issue, and you're here in this town. We want to feel safe. The only way we're going to feel that way is with police officers doing their job. And to sit and say that, yeah, there's some that have done things bad. Honey, we got doctors that are idiots. We got lawyers that are beyond idiots. Beyond priests. You name it. We all got bad ones among our family members. We got idiots in our families, right? But the truth is, you take percentage-wise of cops that do the right thing, and now they all got cameras on them, everybody's taking pictures of them, and they're surviving this crap. Now they've got targets on their back, like in Santa Cruz, shooting at guys. What are we doing? We got to stand up and not be afraid anymore and stop this. You got to tell people what you think, and you got to tell people what you believe. We do not want more of us. We do not want more victims. And the only way you stop that is if they believe law enforcement is coming after them. Got anything you want to say, charming daughter? That's my daughter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm open to leaving this open mic if anybody else would like to come up and say anything, a few words. Anybody?
My name's Jerry Ross, and I retired from the police department last year. And I hear all this talk about defunding the police, and the police won't go to mental illness calls anymore. Well, guess what? We don't. Unless the person is a danger. If he's got a gun threatening to commit suicide, then we'll go to disarm him so the psychologist can go in there. They say, stop the police from going to medical calls. We don't go to medical calls unless we need to, unless we're close there. Yesterday in New York, a girl was protesting and her child started choking, stopped breathing. Of course, what did she do? She ran to the first cop. And that cop saved her child's life. Are we going to stop sending cops to medical calls like that? A child's choking? So since we're defunding the police, we don't have enough cops, nobody's going to be there to go help that child. Right? We're at bare minimums right now. We cannot cut any more police services. We need more police, not less police. One other point I'd like to make is I watched this movie this morning called The Mule, and it shows cops beating people for no reason. It shows cops being racist, and people watch that stuff on TV, and then they start believing that's what the police are like. That is not what the police are like. I did this job for 28 years. I never saw anything like that. And I know cops from other cities, from all over the state. They are not like that. They are good people. They do not beat people for no reason. They don't steal from people. They don't lie and cheat. They do their job and they do it well. Especially Salinas PD. I'm very proud to be a part of Salinas PD. So defunding the police department is nonsense. I can't believe we're even thinking about that.
How many gangs do we have here?
What?
How many gang members do we have here?
I'm not going to give a certain number, but we do have, it's in the thousands of gang members here. And I heard some city council person saying, we need to defund the police, then we could build more parks. Then we'll have parks and more libraries for the kids. Well, guess what? The kids can't go to the parks and the libraries when they're full of gangsters. The police are the ones keeping these parks clean, keeping the libraries available. So, yeah, we need that. The money is more importantly spent for the police department.
Hi, my name is Donna. I used to live out here in Salinas, and I moved to Santa Cruz, and I had to experience one of our sheriffs being murdered. So this defunding, not only does it affect the citizens of this community, but it affects the officers. If you don't have that many officers, their lives are going to be at stake. It's bad enough right now that these police officers are being hunted down like animals. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. I have a cousin that is on the Salinas PD. He's a fine man, a great officer. And every day I pray for this man and every law enforcement in this country. But if we defund this city, not only this police department, like I said, not just the citizens are going to be affected, the police. Their lives are going to be at risk just as much as ours. And I agree. I don't know whoever thought of this defunding. I can't wrap my head around it, but I think it's insane.
Bugs. Well, they were arrested, that's right. Just someone get arrested, that's right.
Hi. I live in Salinas. Been in Salinas since '73. I've seen a lot of changes here. And, the problem that we're having isn't the police brutality. It's the lies that are being told. Okay? We're hearing stuff from the media. We're hearing stuff from Capitol Hill. We're hearing stuff from panicked and fearful neighbors who don't even know what they're talking about because they don't know the truth. The truth of the issue is cops are not the #1 killer of black people. Okay? It's abortions. Now, who puts the abortion clinics in the black neighborhoods? The Democrats. And where did the Democrats come from, basically? They're Confederates. They're upset they lost the war. Now they want to take over America. And so they're bringing out the BLM. They're bringing out all these agendas. It's not about the social issues that we're supposed to be fighting here. Because what are we fighting against? Okay? We're fighting against each other. All of us are made in God's image. We're all brothers and sisters. We got to stop these petty arguments and start fighting for what's right. For what's, again, instead of all these issues, these arguments, it's like children. Number one is the abortion. Number two, black people are dying from their own families and their own friends. Okay, we know that because in Minneapolis, after the Floyd uprisings, we had 4 black guys die from a black man. So now black people are killing black people because the black man died. That doesn't make any sense. I had this thing about the media telling us that we were all going to die from these killer hornets. Okay? I can tell you one report after another this year alone of the things they tell. Number 3, black dies because of drugs and alcohol. Still, police aren't in that list. In America, we had 104 police killings last year. Okay? 104. Okay, and what we want to do as a nation, we want to get rid of the people who are supposed to protect us. It says on their car, protect and serve. You know, doctors, 250,000 people died at the hands of a doctor. How come we're not protesting about them? I mean, 1,004, 250,000. I can do the math. I got a high school education. Okay? I don't know if it's worth anything anymore because, you know, what they teach in the schools, you know, we got to worry about how each person feels instead of what's right, what's true. I mean, blue is blue, green is green. You know, but we want to change all these things about what it feels like. I mean, I go to church now and I'm hearing people say, so how does that make you feel? And I go, what? Now I'm hearing, okay, that our government want to have a police officer driving the car and Dr. Phil in the back.
God help us.
Okay? So the first thing the cop's going to say, do you want to handle this?
No.
I mean, imagine Dr. Phil, every cop car with a Dr. Phil. They make this, another guy was talking about, it's crazy, about defunding the police, and they were saying that over 50% of the revenue coming into Salinas goes to the police department. Really? Then who pays for the parks, the buildings, this building, that building, the fire department, the fire trucks, the ambulances, the hospitals, you know, city parks. And then the people who have to take care of them, the school superintendent, the janitor. I mean, there's only 109 dressed police officers in the city of Salinas. 109 for a city of 155,000. Think about it. 155,000 people with 109 people to protect them. You think we're going to make a mistake here or there? You think we're going to get the wrong call? Yeah, I'm a plumber and I make a mistake. You know, sometimes I don't put the plumbing in right and I got to come back and do it again. But the thing is, I have to do it on my own time. I don't know how that works for cops. But beside that, but you know, the thing is we need to be talking about the truth of these issues. What's really at stake. You know, we see people they say that the wall on our southern border is wrong, that we can't have police officers, you know, in our schools. And it's like, well, if you have a police officer there, it's not that Johnny's going to have to worry about the cop shooting him. The cop there is to educate the kids and for their protection. You know, but people want to tell the other side of that coin. Because remember, every story has two sides to it. So whatever you're hearing from the TV, or from your neighbor, or from your coworker, remember, there's another side to that. Always another side to that. You know, the Bible tells us that many places that God established authority, that the officer is there for our good. He's not there for our harm. And the only reason why he pulls that sword out is because somebody's doing something wrong. And he uses that sword when he has to eliminate the evil in him. And unfortunately, people get shot, they get killed. But the thing is, if they weren't doing wrong to begin with, they wouldn't be in that situation. Now, I know there's exceptions to that, because we know about Brianna. I'll let him pass as well. But Brianna, house invasion by the police. I mean, that's totally unheard of. But they make it sound like at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, that it happens every week. And it's the first time I've heard about it in years. And, you know, and I'm just telling my family, I tell my friends, you know, I'm glad I live in Salinas because we don't have the issues that Seattle has. We don't have the issues that Atlanta and Miami have. We don't have the issues that New York and these other big cities like Philadelphia and Minneapolis have. I mean, we're a good community here for the most part. And our police are trustful people. And I'm sure if there was a bad cop on there, the other cops would chase him out. And I just think it's ridiculous of all this hypocrisy with these special groups.
Hypocrisy, which one is it? Do we have a good community? Or are we gang infested and are we the murder capital of the world? Because you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, you can.
Because someone over here said that we were the gang capital of the world and we were gang infested, but now you're saying that we're a good community. So which one is it?
Overall, we're a good community. Okay, so I
And
tell
we
you,
should invest in that community, right? Shouldn't we invest in that community?
We should invest in the police department to protect that
Yeah.
community.
Yes,
Ask
you
questions,
were
answer.
speaking. I want to speak directly to you, ma'am. I hope that your daughter was able to get the services that she required post-trauma, because I'm glad that the police were there and that they did their job and they were able to capture the man who went into your home. I'm glad they were. But after that, there's trauma that you Exactly, and our social workers in our community are severely underfunded. They're severely underfunded. Exactly, and what we're asking for is a balance. 45% of our total budget to go into policing
So then the police-
is not a balanced
So then
budget
the police
by
aren't there to arrest those
definition.
suspects. Let me say,
By definition, it's not a balanced budget.
So then
By
the police aren't there to
definition,
arrest
it's
those
not.
suspects, and they
Use
go
the
rape more
mic, use the
people and hurt
mic.
more
Really?
people. And
They
then
have a turn.
More policing communities does not equate to less crime. There's statistics
does.
to
Yes,
prove
it does.
that.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yes, it
you
does.
can Google that. You can Google that. More policing communities does not equate to less crime.
Yes,
it
it
just
does.
doesn't.
It
Healthy
does.
communities equates to less crime. Having parks, libraries, after school programs, having our teachers well paid, investing in our children. That's a much better investment for our communities. Balance. That's what I'm asking for is balance. 45% is not balance.
Go to the governor and ask for
Thank you for your opinion. Thank you. Let's keep it
You
peaceful, you
guys
guys.
can do the same thing. Why don't you do the same thing?
All right, we have one more speaker. Angie would like to say a couple more things. Angie? Don, I'm so sorry.
Didn't she already speak? I want to speak.
I just have one small thing, and then you can have the mic, sir. I'm very respectful, and you may have yours turned. Without the police, we have nothing to protect us. There's nobody to call. It's completely chaos. Without the police, if you're wondering why you don't have enough money for these services, maybe it's because the people you voted for are wasting money in other places. Could that possibly be what it is? Anyway, thank you so much for giving me the time to say what I had to say.
All right, thank you everybody for coming out. All right, just keep it down to the next slide.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. This is a real great display of democracy right here. We're all participating. We're holding our flags. We're proud of this moment, and we're feeling that we can rise to an occasion now. This is a change. This is a shift. If we don't know where the idea of defunding the police came from, it is an idea, and it does exist. There are other communities around the country that have embraced that, and they are bravely moving forward as a community, as neighbors. I am there for my neighbor. I tell her every day, or when I see her, when I get to walk by her house, I say, whatever you need, Jeannie, whatever you need. For all of the folks, all of the outside Okies that are still living on the east side.
I'm here.
There it is, ma'am. I salute you. I salute you. I honor you, because so many other folks had to leave because they were afraid. But the brave ones have stayed and have showed an example of what community can be. And this is why this moment right here, we come together and we can talk about it. And that's why I thank you, the organizers. I thank everybody. Appreciate you all. And I want to just leave you because I don't want to take up any more time, and we all have things to do. The gentleman over here invoked Christ, right? And it just leaves me with this one question. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do?
Blessed are the peacemakers.
Blessed are the peacemakers. And this is what we want. Now let's try. I know we all want that same thing, folks. We all want that same thing. And we are, as neighbors, we're going to stand by each other. Okay? We're going to get to know each other. Let's get to know each other, folks. It is going to take a lot. It's not going to happen. We are a fast food nation. We are a fast food culture. We want Amazon now. This is going to take more. So thank you very much. Appreciate you, to the organizers. Appreciate you all.
I just got to say thank you. Social workers are not paid by the city. They are paid by the county. So defunding the police and taking the city money away does not get you more social workers. Teachers are paid by the state. Taking away your police is not going to get teachers paid more. So know where your money's coming from.
Know the truth.
What they have said, the city council has said, is they're going to fix sidewalks so the blood can run more freely on them. They're going to fix parks. Do you remember when they had the shooter in the park on, was it Easter Sunday or something? And he had hostages in there in the parks. So if we're not protecting our parks, then what good are they? And when they're saying that cops are systemically racist, it's so wrong, and they're definitely not. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, but the organization, that's racist. Do you see them in Chicago when 19 black men were killed a couple of weekends ago? No, because it doesn't fit their agenda. Their agenda is to rile up people and make them riot and go like that. That's systemic racism. The organization Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. And like he said, we all want the same thing. We all want peace. We all want justice. But defunding the police is not the way to do it. I'd like to read something that a police officer wrote real quick, if I can get my thing open. So you can maybe understand a little bit of what cops do, or what cops go through. So it says, now hiring a police officer. Are you interested in becoming part of the occupation with the highest suicide rate of any profession? If you choose not to kill yourself, you'll be happy to know that a 2013 study published by the National Institute of Health found the average life expectancy of a police officer to be 57. Does a divorce rate of almost certainty sound good to you? Well then, once you go through an invasive and detailed background check, psychological exam, physical exam, fitness test, written test, and a 6-month-long, often lived-in, boot camp-style academy, you'll be released to the streets where uncertainty and possible death wait around every corner. Before your first tour of duty, you can look forward to being issued used and often expired body armor that may or may not fit well, but will still probably stop a bullet. A used firearm, sometimes 20 years old or older, with no maintenance record, will be what you depend on for your life. Rest assured that more often than not, your equipment will be whatever's the cheapest. You'll be trained to the state minimum standards. Gray areas will often be entered into training as you're given a poorly photocopied and dated handout to read on your own time for your own official training. Sometimes you'll go your entire career without getting a refresher on some courses that you had in the academy. But that's not all. How would you like to work 6 days on, 2 days off, rotate to midnights every 2 weeks, weekends, holidays are a must every year. Mandatory overtime, often with no notice. Court on your days off. Natural disasters, blizzard, pandemic, forget your family, forget your home and personal safety, and get to work, slacker. Morning or afternoon court on your midnight rotation. Sleep? Suck it up, buttercup. An entry-level police officer starts off making $31,965 per year on the average in the United States, according to reported salaries by Indeed users. Finally, get that used car from 2003 you've been eyeing. You'll have a split second to make a choice. But don't fear, the Monday morning quarterbacks and Facebook lawyers will have your back and be sure to correct you with how they would have handled the situation better. Eating at a restaurant? Make sure to request that they hold the spit, shards of glass, and rat poison, and now bleach in milkshakes. Dated equipment, by the rust old locker full. Some of this is known to call its crippling injury, but it looks squared away, and it's the way we've always done it. Risk everything for people who hate you, even if you're killed. The lawyers will come after your estate and leave your wife and your kids in the gutter. If the lawyers fail, you'll be a hero and your wife and kids will get a flag of medium quality from your local Lowe's to fill your void. But wait, act now and you'll also get assaulted and injured at a rate 3 times higher than any other profession, be sent into COVID-19 areas with no training and no equipment. We've lost 121 officers this year alone to that. The next could be you. Dead bodies, yeah, you'll get to touch and smell them, and be careful of the poppers and the leakers. rape victims, children beaten and molested. You get to see all their attackers get a slap on the wrist after spending weeks investigating the crime. Criminals you arrest, it's a race you'll always lose. No matter how fast you are at the paperwork, they'll be out faster. Arrest someone's kids for doing wrong? Don't you have anything better to do? Be prepared to be berated on how petty, how racist, and how worthless you are. Now you're asking, how can this get any better? For a limited time, we're also throwing in family and friends exiting your life forever. The family and friends that choose to still speak to you will be sure to bring up how bad this one cop was at fun events like Christmas, kids' birthday parties, and family reunions. Criminals and scumbags alike will use you to use the system. You will get put in harm's way and time again for their petty games of red slip antics. Use the promo code OINK now, and we'll also include these bonuses. They threaten your family, especially children, with murder and rape. You get pay cuts, which we got here, or frozen salaries. You get PTSD from decades of horrors like burned children, rotting corpses, getting shot at, violent attacks from the very people who called you for help, blood and guts from car accidents, people who use you as their mean of completing suicide and more. Racist? Your background check made sure you weren't. But as soon as you don that uniform, now you're the blue Hitler. Just remember that when the time for you to get greedy and ask for your standard benefits or pay increase, you'll get the same answer we've been giving you for decades. I really appreciate the hard work you do, but it's just not in the budget this year. Best of all, if you're selfish enough to do this thankless job, you'll forever be in the debt and gratitude of millions of great Americans who love and support you. The silent majority, unfortunately that's what we are, trust you and have earned and respect that you have won. Hold the line, stay safe, and God bless you. That is from a police officer.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow.
All right, thank you guys for coming out. We still got about an hour, so let's hang out, show our signs, wave our flags, and tell Salinas that we need more funding and not less. Thank you for coming out, everybody. Thank you.